One thing I promised them though is I'm not going to take you to a Mexican restaurant for your birthday. You know.
You could take me to a Mexican restaurant. I'd be okay with that.
I think a few people say that, but like my point is just like I'm always going to strive to go above and beyond and exceed your expectations.
And we appreciate that. But you know what I appreciate?
What?
Some chips and salsa. Unlimited chips and salsa.
You know what? Doug loves this. You know, whatever we can do to kind of like, shave the bill each month.
Hey. Look, I'm all about Jersey Mike's, In-N-Out. Like, I don't need to go to a nice restaurant for food. When Doug and I, one of our last interviews was at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think he also likes that he can get a middle of the day margarita.
Yes, but also I think that if you're celebrating something, whether it be milestones or success or birthdays, maybe a little nicer.
Yeah.
Welcome, David.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Nice. Beautiful home.
I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I truly feel like in this moment in my career, I've never been, I don't even know if I should tell you this.
Tell me.
No,
you must.
I don't know if I should tell you this.
You can't say, I tell you something.
Your head is,
Let's just keep it in this house, and then when I leave, I'll forget about it.
Okay. I will edit this out if your head gets too big.
Okay.
In my 11 years of being in this real estate career, I feel like in this moment in time, I've never been surrounded by so much talent.
That's very nice, very kind. Am I included in that?
You are included.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
You are included.
Hey, you know what? I will say, we have a very good team, and that was one of my things in coming here, because you want to make sure that you're with people that lift you up and challenge you. And so I think when you have a team of talented people, you attract other people that are also talented. So it's just a testament to your leadership and the people that you inspire to come on the team and elevate their game. That's what it's all about.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm excited to talk a little bit more about what you do on and for the team, just kind of your background and everything, and attest to the talent that I'm surrounded by. Because I think just initially, new construction is so unique to our market. And I think us being in Texas, surrounded by Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, we really kind of forget the luxury that we have having new construction as an option for our buyers. I mean, there are these older cities throughout the country that it's just beautiful, historic, old homes everywhere. And you don't have these new builders in there putting up new communities and, offering all the bells and whistles and latest technology in their home, energy efficiency, I mean, you name it. So just the fact that we have this option for our buyers, new construction, is unique in itself.
Absolutely.
And then to take it a step further, you have in these cities, you have, these builders who are looking to partner with real estate agents or teams. And what does that look like? What does that entail? I know that there's a lot of inquiry, questions about how do I get in with builders? What does it require? What are they looking for? And so when it comes to all of that, you truly are the know-all go-to. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Well, where would you like me to start?
Well, let's start with your background.
Sure. So you brought up new construction. So I'm from Southern California, from Pasadena, the Rose Bowl area. And that's just not something that I was exposed to growing up. And when I went to college, there wasn't any programs around, there was, real estate law and, entrepreneurship things around developments, but there wasn't anything around, becoming a real estate agent or working for a new construction home builder, or anything of that nature. And you really didn't see that a lot in the areas that I grew up in. And so I come here, right, with, a previous employer that I had, and I, started in the real estate business, and I discover this thing called Town Lake in Bridgeland. I'm like, this is a resort.
Yeah.
Like a new construction resort where there's water slides and boat rides and there's little mini towns. And it's just something that is so unique in this market that we really don't have in a lot of other areas. And, and doing this, for years and speaking with agents in other markets, they come to me with, hey, how do I get in with builders and how does that all work? And as I discuss, sort of their layout and their different markets, it is very different in every market. And so I think that there isn't a one size fits all answer to this question. Sort of, I guess, skipping ahead. It's more so understanding your market, understanding the needs of your customer,
right,
which is true in any business. So that's a long-winded version about me. I've been here for 10 years. I'm a true Texan now. I still got love for my, LA Dodgers and LA Lakers and USC Trojans. But in terms of being a Texan, I am a true Texan. I love Whataburger. I love my Texan flag. I love my no state income tax. This is truly a great state to move to, and we're seeing a lot of people move here.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
When it comes to builder partnerships, I know that you just have a wonderful background. You love all the spreadsheets and the data and the relationships. And you had repeated kind of the same question as like, what does it take to get in with builders? And it really is a mix of all of that. It can be through relationships because we're in a saturated industry, so you get the advantage of working with people that you actually like, but there has to be true value there, not just directly to the builder, but to the consumer who's purchasing their product. It is a true partnership. You're looking for a win-win.
Absolutely.
And I know for us, as Doug and I were building up the Nicole Freer group and our numbers just kept growing year after year, I would have conversations with people that had been in the business for a long time. And at that time, we weren't working with any builder partnerships, and their mind was blown when they realized that our numbers represented true resale and taking our resale clients and, sometimes putting them in new construction, but there was no foundation of a builder partnership that went into those numbers. But that's changed a lot over the past few years, especially having you come on board and show us the lay of the land.
Yeah, well, I think, coming here, kind of looking at your business before, I mean, you're a student of the market. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, the Nicole Freer Group is so successful. And you alluded to it earlier, all the fantastic opportunities for people to buy new homes, in and around areas that you service. And a lot of that really is new construction. And so organically, right, you're not really trying to focus on new construction or a specific channel, but you're doing it because it's really the right thing to do, right, for the customer by really being a subject matter expert in your market. And in an area like Katy, in an area like Cypress, really we've seen, new construction, and in many other, submarkets within Houston, we've seen new construction boom over the last several years. And all the Nicole Freer Group has done is just found out what buyers are looking for, become educated about what the options are, and then bring those buyers to the builders. Now, in doing that, you've made relationships along the way. And the stakeholders at the company notice the Nicole Freer Group and the agents and are appreciative of all the business, right, that you're bringing them. And I think that sort of starts that partnership, right, because their goal is to sell homes, and they're looking for, good partners in different channels, sort of partnerships on the real estate side that understand that their product and can be able to best represent their product so that they can bring them business. And the beautiful thing about, I think what y'all have done, what I love so much is it wasn't that you were going to builders with your hand out saying, hey, send me a referral, and I'll do this for you. It was more so you were doing it. It evolved because you were already satisfying what they wanted, which was to bring them customers.
Right. Right. And that, again, happened organically because I was guilty at the beginning of my career, walking into a few model homes and being like, hi, my name's Nicole Freer. And they're like, who are you? Let's work together. Okay, bring us a buyer.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, well, shoot, I don't have any buyers. How do I do this? And so I was really forced to kind of look at my business and see how I was going to tie new construction into that business. And for me, it was focusing on areas where homeowners were selling their home, looking to move up or down in areas that offered new construction. And, new construction may not be top of a buyer's mind when they're thinking about selling and buying. It's up to you, the real estate agent, to make sure that you've explored that option. And so when discussing what their wants and needs were in their new home, one of my first questions were, have you considered new construction? Well, not really, but we're open to it.
Sure.
That's what most all of them say. Not really, but we're open to it. And once you take the time to take them out and show them the product and the value in new construction, there's almost no going back to resale.
It is pretty hard to go back to resale. I can see, you're a testament to that, right? Like both you and I, right? Like we both own new construction homes. So, we drink the Kool-Aid. We believe in it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I think that, one of the unfortunate things when you go and get your real estate license, and you go through the classes, it's sort of catered. I guess this is my perspective, right? Going through it, it was catered towards the resale side of the business. And if you talk to a lot of the professionals that, maybe were in the business a long time, they were most people are on the resale track, right? And so this is sort of the scary unknown market, right? Like what does Builder X stand for, right? What does Builder Y stand for? What's their business model? What expectations can I set for the buyer? What does this builder represent in terms of features and finishes, floor plans and layouts and processes? And that's a lot to learn, And I think if you're getting into the business as a new agent, that's a hairy situation. So it takes a lot of time to really learn these builders so that you can best be that fiduciary for the client. And I think that at the Nicole Freer Group, that's what I see happening consistently, right? We don't just sell one type of builder home. We sell builder homes across the board in many different markets, and it's really catered to what that client's looking for. And at this point, the agents know how to match builder X, Y, or Z with that buyer based on what their needs are.
And you've done a phenomenal job of that. At the brokerage, being accessible to all of our agents to answer their questions, point them in the right direction. You listed a plethora of kind of things that need to be considered when you are looking about incorporating new construction into your business. I mean, there's even, in my opinion, there's like a new construction etiquette.
There is.
That exists.
Absolutely.
That the normal agent or a brand new agent or someone who's just getting into new construction doesn't know or realize. And being able to have access to someone who not only has done a lot of new construction sales, but works closely with, management and leadership to understand truly how they're running their sales team is huge value.
Absolutely. And I've been fortunate in my career in real estate business and, in all the years that I've sort of been doing it, as I've been able to focus specifically on new construction. I've been in and out of all the different types of builder models. I mean, for the first several years of my life, that was virtually my entire job, going and visiting different builders, understanding, what made them different, being able to speak to it at a high level. And so I was fortunate, right? And because I was able to, acquire that knowledge, I've been able to be used sort of as that tool, right, for different agents that have those questions, because it is a daunting task to be able to know all of that. So be able to have, a point person on the team, sort of like you alluded to, like, hey, what type of builder would be good for this buyer if this is what they're looking for? Because there is an etiquette, there is a formula, there is all these things, and it is, some spreadsheets, and I love the data, and I am a nerd, I love Excel, but I think that's what makes real estate great. Is I can combine all my loves of, the data and the nerdy stuff with the human interaction and the agents.
Well, let's talk about what's currently going on in the market and how that affects new construction. I think for me, one of the interesting things about getting to know new construction better and that side of the business is how it plays into the highs and lows of the real estate market overall.
Absolutely.
Right? How they have to themselves pivot in situations. We saw that hugely just a few years ago when COVID happened. Uh-huh. Then, of course, now, recently when interest rates started hiking up, seeing how they pivoted for that. I can already see pivots taking place regarding the new NAR rules and, kind of pivoting Absolutely. To advertise that in their advertising to agents. So what do you think new construction is doing really well right now just to keep up with the market?
Yes, that's a great question. So as I see new construction, it's a singular seller, right? It's a company. And because it's a company and a singular seller, they can pivot according to what's happening in the market much more quickly, right? And there's a lot of things that have been happening. On the resale side, it takes longer for the resale market to sort of change over because there's tons of different agents listing all the resale homes, and there's, hundreds of thousands of different sellers, right, with different perspectives. You mentioned some of the big things. So I think the first thing that I saw going back to sort of the COVID time was the shift from, hey, I'm going to build on your lot, more custom, to starting to transition more into move-in ready, right, to specs. And part of that has been generationally, right? Like we have a lot more millennials in the market, and as a millennial myself, we're sort of, hey, we want it right now. We don't have tons of creativity. We need to see it, touch it, feel it, right? And so we've seen a lot of builders move towards the inventory model, right? There's still some of the build from ground up options out there, but a lot more of that here, ready now. So that was sort of the first big change. More recently, of course, the interest, this has been going on for 2 years, right? The interest rates have been, higher. And the builders, some sooner than others, have pivoted to different options and opportunities for their buyers to provide a lower either bought down rate, right? Or options to buy down that rate with some sort of incentive, right? To make really, at the end of the day, that payment piece, palatable for the client. And then, as you mentioned, right now with the NAR thing, I see a ton of all over my feed because, I follow a lot of builders and real estate agents on Facebook and social media. We basically see, hey, we're still partnering with agents. We value you. Please come bring us your buyer. Come take a look at our homes. And I think that that's great. I think it's great how new construction can sort of, like I said earlier, pivot to what the market needs are, much more quickly. And as a result, I think it's a better, experience, I think, for the customer as well as the agent.
All right, so that about wraps up our time.
I talked a lot.
I just like picking on David.
Yeah.
David knows.
I talk a lot.
You do.
You got to rein me in. You got to give me.
I don't like to confine artistry.
Artistry.
You just have to
Artistry. You're so kind.
You just have to let it be. I wanted David to come here and be his amazing self today and share all his knowledge. The viewers are salivating at the mouth.
Are they?
Yes, they want to know. I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how many agents bring up to me just their wonder and curiosity about new construction and the partnerships that are formed. And it's not a 5-minute conversation. It's not even a 15, 20-minute conversation. So I appreciate you being here with me today and kind of, showing us a little bit behind the curtain. There's a lot still there, but luckily, like I said, you overshare with our agents, you overshare with our industry, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing that makes you so great is just your willingness to help others and truly wanting to see others be successful.
Yeah, I think we've all been there, and we've all started at the bottom at some time, and it's great to see others succeed. And I've certainly been there, so happy to help. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, as long as you're here, it keeps succeeding.
All right,
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay.